Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We got to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race, episode 9, some questionable makeovers.
Oh, it's actually episode 10. But first,
Oh, no.
if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. This series has been on for a year now, this season, so
it honestly feels like we're now in season 17 of Drag Race rather than 13. Sorry, I'm losing track of episodes, but we also have a link in the description if you want to support us on Patreon. Do it. I won't stop you.
Hello, pals. Welcome. This was a fun episode. I mean, we have opinions.
Yeah,
but I
definitely, I have opinions that are different from the judges. But there were parts of this episode that I really loved that I feel like I haven't really seen before on Drag Race. So, loved it.
I haven't agreed with the judges in so many episodes. I'm just going to get used to it now. It is what it is.
This is what it is. Yes.
This is this season. But at the top of this episode, Utica is energized from the lip sync.
Fired up. You know, she's like, now I'm ready to compete. I'm ready to do it. And Candy's like, did you like being in the bottom? What are you saying? But Utica's just like, I beat somebody in a lip sync. I'm feeling good about that.
I think it's the energy of performing that's the type of performing you're used to. Yep. Right? You get that vibe of like, I performed. You know, it's not a challenge that you're like, oh God, I gotta figure this out or whatever. So I don't know. That's fun. That's great.
Yes, I think it fits perfectly with Utica's sunny disposition. You know, most queens come in and they're like, that was the worst feeling I've ever had in my life. I want to die, blah, blah. And of course, Utica's like, that was fun. And I won. So I loved it.
Also, Simone, they're kind of talking about her activism. And I really loved that she sort of phrased it of like, if I'm going to have the privilege, if the privilege is there, let's use it.
Yeah,
don't want to waste it.
They're very much great job, Simone. You know, we didn't really get an onstage critique at all of her look because she was just safe. But this is when the queens are like, Simone, that was amazing. And she's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I was glad to have that little moment before we just kind of get more, you know, general feelings of where people are in the competition. Tina's wanting a win. Don't hold Tina. And Olivia is kind of nervous about lagging performance. She's like, you know, I had a couple of wins. Now I was in the bottom 3. A little bit of foreshadowing, maybe.
maybe a little bit. Now we're going to do a really weird segment with a psychic.
Yeah.
Char Margolis, you guys.
Yeah.
I know Char. When Ruth said her name, I was like,
oh, I know of her. She's like a daytime talk show frequenter. Is that the word?
Yeah. She's the one for the daytime talk shows. So I have worked with her. I've never sat down for a reading with her, but I've worked with her professionally. And let me just tell you, everything she said, a producer told her what.
I always watch these episodes twice, right? I watch once with my friends, whatever. We're just laughing and kind of half paying attention. Then I watch again for this to really do the work, prepare to talk about it. I'm going to be honest, Sarah, I skipped over the psychic segment.
Skipped over the psychic.
I just don't care.
Look, here's the highlights. Tina's dad came through, which is very touching, and then Utica's cow came through. So there's your segment. All righty. What?
Okay, Utica's cow.
These are the things that are important to me. Tina's literally holding back tears, and then Utica's like, "Yes, it's my cow." But anyway,
I was just they are out of ideas.
They're out of ideas.
They did not have one more idea for a mini challenge. So they said, call Char.
They're like, who's willing to come to us during COVID? Oh, she's psychic enough to know she can be healthy. Okay, got it.
Okay,
She's coming
great.
on it. But for whatever reason, they felt like they needed to set it up that Char is the one picking the pair. She's gonna feel out who needs to work together. Again, a producer did all of this.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, now we move forward to, it's gonna be like a doppelganger challenge. We're gonna pair you up, and you got to make the other queen you, basically.
Yes.
And these pairings are very interesting.
They are, yes. And this is the first time that the makeover challenge has been this, where they, are making each other over to look like themselves. This is the COVID edition. They, sort of brand it that way. Totally makes sense for this. But it is fun. I loved basically everything up until the final result.
Yep.
But I loved like the different, like Tina and Rose, right?
Oh my
Haven't always gotten along in the New York scene. Love that energy.
Love it. Was there a lie detector shtick in the season 4? Because we just had a lie detector shtick on The Bachelorette. And that 2 was produced.
Yeah. Oh my God. I forgot about that. Good memory, Kristen.
Yeah. Don't ever believe the lie detector ones either. Producers.
No.
Guys, producers. This Tina Rose pairing gave me life. I don't even have a ton of notes because I sat back and just enjoyed. They were so real with each other. And like they got a good level of honesty. Maybe it's that New York vibe where they can just be like, oh yeah, red wig. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got eyebrows of a Neanderthal. Like, it's just such good honesty. I loved it.
Yeah, it's great to have 2 queens who have known each other, or at least have known of each other for years and years, because they both work in the same scene. And they know what each other's drag is, like beyond just what has been presented on the show, Right. So Rosé's very much like, Tina's camp, and I pretty much hate all of it. And she can speak from knowledge of what she has seen Tina Burner do in New York City, I
was like, Rosé, you are speaking all of our words. She's like, it's campy, it's jokey. I don't like it. And I'm like, same here. I don't get it. What is it? I don't know. But yes, the 2 of them together was fantastic. Now, Denali and Olivia, they just seem like sweetie sweet. Just there's not a lot here.
So nice to each other because they're not as familiar with each other. They don't have any kind of history, any kind of rivalry or anything. So they're a little bit more like walking on eggshells a little bit. Like, Denali's trying things on Olivia, and Olivia's like gamely trying them on. And then the confessional, she's like, I'm not super into this, but maybe she's got a vision, they're just kind of having to trust each other a little bit.
Yes. Now, Utica and Simone, match made in heaven, clearly. Yes. But they're both like, so different. So different.
I was a bit surprised that there was so many nerves associated with both of them, embodying the other's drag style, just because I feel like they're both kind of like high concept, fashion-y kind of queens. Both have similar body types. I thought it was going to be like, this is going to be so fun to like step into your shoes for 1 week, because like, I feel like we both kind of think on this elevated level, but it was very much like Simone was like, Utica is super weird, y'all. And Utica was like, I'm white. I can't do anything that has to do with Black people.
I mean, it's obviously a concern of Utica's. This is the second episode that we've heard Utica be like, I do not want this like blowing back on me. But I really appreciated the route that it was taken with, if you're coming from a place of love, if you're sort of mimicking or representing from a positive place, then there shouldn't be any blowback. Like, it shouldn't come across offensive or, and that's
Simone
true.
was like, Yeah, Simone was patient with her,
Hmm.
but she kind of was like, this is my drag. My drag celebrates Black culture, Black excellence,
Hmm.
being Black. And I'm not going to paint you in blackface. Like, we're not doing
Right.
that. But you
Hello.
can wear this outfit with your white skin and
Yeah.
still embody, certain things about Simone, the character. That's possible.
Yeah. Yes, and just yes, absolutely. I'm so glad that they kind of had to hold hands through it and work through
Yeah.
it together because it turned
Hmm.
out amazing. Okay,
And then
I'll
the
say that.
last
I'll
one
just
is, yeah.
David's like, and then
It's
who's
like
the other pair?
Candy
Okay.
and Gottmik, yes. And they've just got the like way different body types kind of challenge for theirs. Like they're super close. They've got a lot of love for each other. We've seen them be friends all season. I think they both kind of like respect each other's aesthetic. We didn't see any kind of like clashing in that way, but it was just kind of like Gottmik's kind of like, do I have enough fabric, to like remake this garment? And then Candy's like, I got to take everything in. It's just like a lot more construction work that they have to do to
Sure.
be able to fit into each other's drag.
There was no one else though that is close to Candy's size. Like that's just going to
Mm-mm.
happen no matter what.
Right.
For Candy. If we were going off of pure size, maybe got Mick and Denali would have been paired up and
Yeah.
Olivia and
Right.
Candy, which honestly I would have liked to see it. But just the Olivia Candy pairing.
But,
But I don't think
Shar
it
saw it,
was.
Sarah. Shar saw that Candy and Gottmik, the two most opposite body types, needed to be together. She psychically saw that.
Yeah, I psychically also saw that it was about personality. It wasn't about body type. Like I really
Right.
do think that Rose and Tina have like
Uh-huh.
the whatever that is, and then I think that Gottmik and Candy both have like this,
Yep.
Hmm.
Spoken like a true psychic.
Thank you. That's how my mediumship works. It comes in and
Yeah.
it's like that.
But yeah, I liked the RuPaul consultations. He
Hmm.
kind of meets with everybody. You already talked a little bit about Ru telling Utica, like, chill. It's just about coming from a place of love. It's fine for you to like
Yeah.
get in this outfit. And that does seem to kind of set Utica's nerves at ease a little bit, but I feel like she's still not totally sold. I did enjoy Candy and Gottmix because we learned that Candy's like a certified makeup artist. Like I didn't,
Yes.
I'm like, we've just had so much of like Candy's like loud and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, great. I would love to like learn these things about the queens as well. So I
Yeah.
was glad that we got that little tidbit.
Absolutely. Now, when they go out on stage and like walk each other's walk, this was hilarious. This
Favorite
was so
part of
much
the
fun.
whole episode by far.
So much fun. And of course, Tina and Rose are just living for this. They both
Yes.
want to make fun of the other one. They both want to act like the other one. And they are being like, no, you're doing a Rose spin on it. It's
Yes.
point. It's like,
Yeah.
and then Rose's like clopping along like Tina. It was so funny watching
And
these walks.
I just loved seeing them describe their own persona to someone else. Like, I really don't
Yes.
think that we've ever seen anything quite like this, where
Hmm.
they are like pulling back the curtain a little bit as to how they perform their character. They like really put a lot of thought into what is the style of the walk, what kind of like, gestures and isms do I have on the runway that I do every time. And you recognize them when they're pointing them out. You're like, oh yeah, Rose does do a lot of spins and she does kind of like flick her fingers a lot. But the fact that they like really kind of engineered this character for the runway is so fun to see.
It's fascinating because I don't think I really figured that out. I thought you just walk and you're doing you, whatever that is. But to be able to say it is a whole different thing. I feel like I'd be like, oh, I don't know. Do I point? Oh, that's so weird. I didn't realize I pointed, But they all know exactly what they do.
I know. And of course, Utica's out here like, I think of my body like Da Vinci's Anatomy of Man. Like, of course, she has the most cerebral explanation for how she moves on the runway. Leave it to Utica.
Of course. And I was like, but wait, I believe what she's saying.
Yeah.
Because she's like, do I use this space? Do I use this space? And I was like, oh my God, that is what she's doing.
Yeah.
What?
I
So
know.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then but I did feel like Utica and Simone were trying to figure it out what the other person does. And
Yes.
same thing with Candy and Gottmik. Like I was dying laughing with these two. They're just
Yes.
having too much fun, but I was like, I don't know that they're getting it at all.
Gottmik was not getting it whatsoever.
She didn't get
it. No. Candy, I felt like got it a little bit, like enough, but like Gottmik cannot embody the kind of like Bronx coolness of Candy. She just doesn't have it in her. And Olivia also cannot embody the ice skater gracefulness of Denali. That was also not going well.
Oh, that was funny. Denali's like, so a skate is like this. It's low, but it's not like that. No, it's not like that.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that takes a little skill to make it look like you're ice skating. Yeah, it was very fun to watch it, but obviously not as easy as maybe you would think it is. So should we get to our looks?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay, who is first? Rosé is first. But Rosé, oh, this is so weird because Rosé looks like Tina. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Rosé being Tina. I mean, classic big red wig.
Yep.
And the
yellow
point.
Dress. The point.
She did it.
Yeah. She's still a bit too like straight arm out. Like that still kind of feels Rosé to me. Tina's not so sharp with the movements all the time.
Right.
This look generally not good to me. Not good. We saw it in the workroom beforehand. Like they always do like one makeover reveal where they like spin around and see the final look. And this was the one we got this season. And even Gottmik was like, yikes. It's somehow worse than on Tina.
Yeah, I mean, Rosé is doing her best Tina impersonation here. I give her lots of credit for that. And I appreciate that the wig is oversized. Because remember there was one time that Tina like put on a small wig.
Flat wig. Yeah, I think it was in the Little Black Dress Challenge. And it was just this like lifeless orange wig.
Yeah. So those were the highlights for me. That was it. But, later the judges are going to say this wasn't elevated. And I was like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree. And then there was a reveal. And the reveal was just kind of like, why is there a reveal to like a leopard print, bodysuit underneath? I don't really know.
It didn't really make sense.
Didn't love.
Yeah. Okay, so then that means Tina is next, being Rosé.
I can't even tell you if I think this is good or not because it's just so odd to me seeing Tina in this kind of an outfit.
It's so odd. I mean, it's definitely a Rosé look with this little whatever the heck this is, and the short skirt.
Yeah.
And I guess the pink wig, that makes sense.
I think the pink wig is really, for me, what sells it as like, okay, she's doing Rosé. Because, I've said before that I still kind of struggle to figure out like, what is Rosé's signature style?
Right.
But the pink wig, probably because she entered with a pink wig, I associate that really closely with her. I do, Tina's not nailing the mannerisms, but she's doing it in a Tina way that I think is actually kind of funny. And so I enjoyed her, even though it's not like a spot on impression, it's like embodying the spirit of it, but doing it in a way that is different, but funny. So I enjoyed her character of Rosé.
Yeah, agreed. It was kind of the same of like, I appreciate what Tina's doing, trying to be Rosé. But again, not elevated. It was an accurate critique. This is Olivia being Denali.
Same wig, I think, that Denali entered with. And
Yeah.
the dress feels really similar. Like at first I was like, is this her entrance look? Are we just repeating here?
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't think it was, right?
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
it
it
was.
is.
No, I don't think they would do that.
But I honestly, the eye makeup, I got really excited about here. Like this makeup is so Denali.
It is Denali. I think my issue is it looks bad on Olivia. Like I just kind of across the board for the most part thought that it was just not like maybe you do look like Denali, but I think part of the challenge should also be like make them look good as Denali, right? And I don't think that Olivia looks good as Denali here. And then it's not in the clip you've got here, but when she tried to do the skater move on stage,
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, you didn't practice it enough. It's still so bad.
Yeah. So look aside, Olivia's not giving me anything Denali, right? Like
Yeah.
Tina and Rose, they were obviously being the other person, but there's nothing here that is telling me Olivia's trying to be Denali other than the look. That's all I'm getting.
Yeah.
And I think it was Rue. Somebody said something about blending.
Oh, yeah. Rue was like, where is the blending?
Yeah. And I think that's what we're talking about. Like the eye makeup is Denali, but like she did not blend it. She did not make it look great.
Yeah. No
so
bueno.
That brings us to Denali being Olivia.
Now, I'm glad you've got the still at the top of this clip of the side-by-side with Olivia, because I don't even think Olivia looks like Olivia in the still. And I think mostly it's the wig, honestly. The gown is very glamour, old Hollywood pageanty vibes, and that is Olivia to me.
Yeah.
But the wig and the makeup, especially on Denali, but even in this still, I'm just sort of like, yeah, this doesn't feel like a signature Olivia Lux look to me.
Yeah, the wig definitely, and I don't know. I kind of was like, wait a minute, does Olivia have a signature look? I kind of felt like the downside here, or maybe it's the upside to say Olivia. There's nothing about Olivia that stands out as Olivia because I'm not getting it, and the judges are talking about like doesn't scream Olivia, and I was like, what does scream Olivia?
What does? Yeah, I do think like we saw. Remember the all yellow look where she had the like big yellow puffs, and it was kind of a similar like very form fitting, bedazzled dress. So that's kind of I think where my mind is going, and what makes this a little bit Olivia to me because it's very similar to that. But I don't know what wig I'm expecting, whether it's like a big sort of like curly afro wig or like a sort of very structured, almost sculpture-y type wig. I don't really know what I would change about this to like make it more spot on Olivia. So yeah, I sort of see your point.
Yeah, I think I felt like that was the problem of what's Olivia. She doesn't have a brand, and that's really not great at this point.
I mean, let's talk about a brand. Look at this. Like,
Simone Utica.
As soon as she walks around that corner, that this is a Utica look. Like, and she's, doing a fun job with the movement.
Yes.
But I do not think she looks good in this outfit. Again, we gotta like find a way to put you in this outfit and make you look good in it. And I feel like this is a huge fail.
I don't think there's anything Simone can wear and not look good. Simone looks incredible.
Look at her face close
in
up.
A crazy Utica outfit.
The face is bad. The makeup is not good.
What?
Yeah. It's questionable. Look at that. No. This looks like, and I feel the same way. We'll take a look at Utica in a second. I think both Simone and Utica look like they are in drag for the first time in these looks.
No, stop it, David.
Yeah. Like
What?
Utica was like, oh, Simone, you've never done drag in your life. I'm going to put you in one of my outfits and it's your first time doing drag. And this is what we got.
I just thought it was gorgeous. I thought it was such an amazing blend of Utica and Simone, and I really appreciate. Look aside, since we disagree on that, these moves, like she's embodying Utica.
Yeah, true.
She's doing it.
She's doing it. Yeah,
and I appreciate that.
All in with the body movement.
Yeah,
and yeah. It definitely is a tribute to Utica's drag style. Like Simone is leaning in, but yes. I just don't think that Utica was that successful with the makeup, and neither here. I think this makeup is terrible, but the outfit looks amazing. Her body looks incredible. Utica has the perfect body for this. She's so skinny.
Yeah.
The hair, looks good on her, but the makeup, I'm like, no. There's no the contour on the nose is not working. I'm not into this makeup at all.
The makeup is gorgeous, David.
Oh Lord.
What? I love it. And I, again, appreciate she's leaning into what Simone taught her. She is not being quirky Carol Burnett here. She's definitely different than she usually is. And this leopard outfit, so Simone. This wig, I don't know. I loved it.
The presentation, I think, is one of my favorites for the episode. Yes. I would say of the 6 we've seen so far, this is the top presentation of another drag character and really nailing it. Even better than Simone, I think. She is just emulating what we probably would have seen had Simone worn this down the runway. She's just got the movements down and the attitude and everything's perfect. I think the makeup is my only complaint really for this look.
And Kristen is reminding us this is the 3rd time Simone has ever painted anyone else's face. So
yeah, I believe that.
Okay, who's next? Got Mick is being Candy here.
Okay, Sarah, I'm going to say it. I think I would have given the win to Candy and Got Mick this week instead of Simone and Utica.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm going to say it. This is not Candy. There's nothing here that is Candy. If Candy didn't have Got Mick painting her face, these two would have been in the bottom dancing for their lives, lip syncing for their lives.
Oh no, come on. I thought Got Mick's makeup was really good too. When she took off the glasses, it's a totally different look than we're used to seeing her with in the face. But I thought Candy did a great job on the makeup. And I think that the problem here is kind of the problem we were having with Olivia earlier. I don't think Candy has a signature look. And that's why this doesn't necessarily feel like, oh, that's Candy Muse walking down the runway. I was thinking about, remember what she wore last week with the houndstooth thing with the fascinator? What does this have anything to do with that? Have anything to do with the fembot look? Have anything to do with, the all yellow look with the daisies in her hair? Every look is so different that there's not really a Candy signature.
The only thing that screams Candy to me is that she tries to be high fashion, whether she executes it or not. So I needed something closer to what Olivia's look was. She needed a runway glamorous look that would have told me Candy, because that's at least something that Candy tries to do. But this does not look like Candy at all. I think they just defaulted to this because of the size thing. They were like, we can cinch this one in, whereas one of those big frou-frou dresses might have been too hard to cinch in.
Sure. Yeah.
So this doesn't say Candy to me at all. Sure, the makeup is good, but this is not Candy, and Gottmik cannot walk any different way than Gottmik's, they were like, haha, you said I'm gonna fight you or something. What'd she say? She said something.
Oh yeah.
I'm coming for you. And they were like, haha, that's so Candy. And I was like, wait, what? You're giving that to her? She clomps down the runway like Gottmik clomps down the runway. Like, there was nothing that screamed candy about this.
Yes.
I was so confused.
I guess maybe I'm prouder of Candy's contribution to this
Candy
makeover
has
than I am.
never squatted down like that.
No, you're right.
What?
But I still stand by. I think Candy did a great job adapting this outfit to Gottmik's body, and the makeup is great. But you're right that Gottmik is not capturing who Candy is as a drag queen at all, except for like, she's at the end of the runway and she's like, bye. And then she walks off the runway. And
right. I was like, okay, so yes, Candy does kind of scream things out. That's it. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to read your the comments.
yeah. Well, I think it was Dolores who said it's too form-fitting, but I think Candy's had several form-fitting things. Like, she's often showing her body off on the runway. Remember the lingerie look with the money, like, head thing? That was like, I think she shows her body kind of a lot more than we think.
Yeah, Hunter, David's being shady tonight. I agree. Now, this has got me.
Loved.
Yes.
I mean, this makeup is the best of everybody. And this is honestly kind of the best Candy's ever looked. Hate to say it.
That might be true. Yes. I mean, the upside here is that Gottmik has such an iconic signature makeup. So you put that on anybody else and you're like, yes, that's Gottmik. And to be fair, Candy is giving me some Gottmik.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
It's almost a little more polished of a walk. Because you're right. Gottmik is a little bit like stompy when she does the runway. And it's like, she kind of like her shoulders slouch a little bit. And she's like moody and like, I don't want to be here. I'm punk rock and all that. And Candy's giving a little bit more like fashion doll almost. Yeah. But you're right. With that signature of a face, you just know no matter what. And, she gives the little like punk rock and roll fingers, whatever. I mean, I'm not cool enough to know what that is, but she does that. And so I really liked this.
I'm not going to say I liked it. I'm just going to say it's Gottmik. So I get it. And I think that that's what saves them as a duo, because I can't stand by what Candy was wearing or Gottmik was wearing as Candy. Look at us, David. Winners. We are like so opposite tonight.
Yeah, that's good. Usually we agree on most things. And sometimes I'm like, is it boring that we always agree? So tonight, we're going at it.
We do not agree. All right. Well, so to make it even more complicated, they're going to be judged as pairs.
Yeah.
So that does change things a little bit. You can't really say you screwed up or you didn't. And they get a round of fairly positive remarks before we get into like real judging, real critiques. But the girls have to pick who they would eliminate.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I did feel like they were so much harsher in the like deliberation than they were in the critiques. I'm like, why are you not saying this to their faces when they're on stage? This is valuable feedback for them to be hearing. And you're making it look like, you just said it while they were, untucking backstage. But,
they did.
This reality show trope of like, who should go home tonight and why is something you see every year. And this one was almost unanimous. 5 people said Olivia. And I gotta say, I kind of agreed. Yeah, it was Rose, Tina, Simone, Utica, and Gottmik who all said Olivia. Olivia said Utica, because of course Olivia's not going to say herself, but she's basing that on the entire competition.
Yeah.
And then Candy pops completely off because Denali says her, right? Denali's like, oh, I think Gottmik looks like Tina, which I do agree is kind of not a fair critique. Like, just because it's flames, doesn't mean that another, like Tina does not own flames. Other drag queens can like wear flames as a pattern on their clothing. But Candy's like, oh, Denali wants to say my name. And she just like goes off, cannot handle that anybody is saying her name, and has to point out that they had the hardest time of everybody in this. And so I'm going to say Denali and Olivia, both of them, go. I'm like,
Yeah.
Candy, you don't have to react so strongly every time.
Seriously, like everyone had to stand there and do that. And
yeah.
And Olivia heard her name 5 times and did not pop off at all. Utica also heard her name, did not pop off or retaliate in any which way. But I honestly stood by Denali's comment that I really did not like what Gottmik was wearing, saying that she was Candy. And no, nobody owns flames. But I understood what she was saying is if I were to look at that outfit and pick one of these queens that it represents, I'm going to go with the girl who wears red and orange and yellow all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how I took it. And I was
that is one way of looking at it. Yeah, you're like, oh, Gottmik's Tina, right? That's obviously what you would think. But I think
would never think she's Candy.
Yeah, right. And I think that's the other side of it, is that she's saying this does not read as a signature Candy look to me.
Right. And then, like you said, Candy just could not handle anyone saying her name. And she has to point out that they had the hardest challenge because of the size difference, which I say, buck up. Don't make excuses. Anyway.
Right.
But so then when they go out, that's when we start to hear like, sure, Tina and Rose, they were each other, but was it elevated? Did we love it? Not really.
No, we didn't.
You know? But then they got to Utica and Simone and they said it was elevated. And David, I agree.
They loved it. And I do not agree. I just am like, judges, I can see it on the television and I can see that the faces are not painted very well. And you're just not even going to acknowledge it. Like, come on.
Maybe they're making up for the fact that they didn't acknowledge how wonderful Simone was last week. And they're like, let's just do it this week. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So those are our winners, Utica and Simone. Yay. Yes. Utica finally won something.
Yeah, that was great. And like, I feel like she kind of, just to put her nerves about all of this stuff at ease a little bit in terms of like dressing up in an outfit that like is a Black person's outfit. You know, it's just like she's being too sensitive. And so it's like, shh, you won. It's okay. Yeah. You're fine, Utica. Like pat her on the back.
Yeah. But they did really love Gottmik and Candy for, I guess, the reasons you loved it. I didn't understand that. So they were safe. Even though I thought that they shouldn't have. And then Tina and Rose are safe, but it seemed like they were sort of third place level there. And that leaves us Denali and Olivia to lip sync for their lives.
Yeah. Tough.
So at this point, you didn't think they should be last? Are you agreeing with this at this point, David?
Do I think Olivia and Denali were in the bottom? Yes.
You agree with that?
I do think that they should have been bottom 2, but I'm just not happy that they're the bottom 2 because I really like both of them a lot.
Agreed.
But yeah, I think that they both didn't. Well, Denali did fine in terms of like embodying Olivia's essence. Yeah. Olivia did not, and I thought they both looked bad. So yeah, you kind of both deserve to be there.
Yeah. So this lip sync, though, I thought they both really killed it. I thought they both stepped up and delivered.
Okay, we're back to agreeing, Sarah. I thought this is like not an all-time great lip sync, but more deserving of a double save than Candy and Simone's was, you know? And it was just a bummer to see Denali go. We're sort of to the point. Well, no, I was about to say like we're to the point where it's going to hurt when anybody goes, but that's not true. Like I would have been happier with like Tina or Candy going this week over a Denali or an Olivia. But they're not going to do 2 double saves back to back like that. So
no, and honestly, I thought, okay, if we've got Olivia and Denali in the bottom and I can't fight it too much at this point. They were definitely the bottom 2 looks, but there's no way RuPaul's letting Olivia go. I know that. So I was like, oh my God, like I think Denali is so good. I think she's a star. And I feel like she was undervalued and underappreciated most of this season. Like she did have a win, but she came out with some stunning looks and did not get any credit for several episodes. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is a setup for Denali to leave. And it's just crushing. And then boom, we get both of them nailing this lip sync. And I was like, oh my God, they're not going to do a double save. Oh my gosh. And then they did not.
They did not. And I just thought, Denali, I'm so sorry that you had to leave looking like that. You know, you look horrible. She had, like you say, she had so many good looks. And people on reality shows often talk about like, if I have to go home this week, at least I can go home in something that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
I don't think Denali was saying that. You know, I think she was like, I look terrible. And this is my exit look.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame when you're like, oh, I'm in someone else's look. I think even, was it Rose that was like, I can't lip sync for my life in this look. Yeah. When like picking out an outfit, like thinking that far ahead of like, if this crashes and burn, can I lip sync in this outfit?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, yeah. I was just so
I agree with Kristen. This should have been the double Shantae. Candy should have gone when it was the lip sync with Simone, and we could have kept both of them here.
Agreed.
But this is the world we live in.
I don't know why Candy is still in this competition, but I don't think she's going anytime soon. I think RuPaul loves Candy. And I also think like Michelle and Ross and Carson, I think they all love Candy.
I think they look at her as good TV. They're like, we are keeping her. She's a character. We can make a star out of her. Like we made a star out of Alyssa Edwards and Vanessa Vanjie Mateo and these like larger than life personalities. You know, they just see a lot of potential, I think, with her. I'm guessing, you know, I can't really explain it otherwise, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tina and Utica even go before Candy at this point.
Definitely Utica. Like Utica is like on her last days. She's going to go at any point now because she's just not a fave of Rue's. And I don't know about Tina. Like, I think they keep giving Tina a shot, but they don't seem to really ooh and ah over Tina. Yeah. So, yeah, you feel like Tina's going sooner rather than later?
Me, yes.
Yeah, you. You.
Yeah, I definitely do think that. I just feel like it's going to come to a point where they're like, you know, Tina, we're sitting here wondering, like, what are you still doing here? Like, we haven't, I can't even remember a look that you walked down the runway. You know, like she just hasn't had a standout memorable moment. I think she's been in the top, one time? And even that time, I think we were like, why was Tina in the top? Right. It's just been confusing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying Tina more and more just as like on TV, just a television personality. But yeah, she's not really delivering anything spectacularly with looks or with the improv challenges and performances. Hasn't really been blowing us away. But I feel like they love Candy. They love Gottmik.
Yep. They love Simone.
They love Olivia and Simone. So is that our top 4 right there?
I
Rose.
think Rose over Candy in the top 4. You don't think Rose?
I mean, I hope. I hope. Yes. But yes, Rose needs some credit here for sure. But I'm just going off of what the judges have been doing.
Yeah. And then next week, it's like, you know, they're creating a soft drink. They're making these like fake commercials. And that just feels like something where they're going to be like, Candy, you are so funny just as yourself, you know? So it's probably going to be another strong showing of Candy just playing herself all the time.
Yeah. And Utica's going to deliver a joke that doesn't land. And they're going to be like, no.
Oh my God. Imagine the creative that Utica is going to come up for this soft drink. It's going to be insane.
It's going to be insane. And it's not going to work. And I predict we lose Utica.
Right. She's going to do something where it's like, I created a a drink that you can consume through your ear canal. Like she's gonna go crazy with it. I just know. Oh, Utica, we love you. We love you, Utica.
We do. We love you. I'm trying not to say it too much because I got a comment that I'm just becoming redundant. So I'm just gonna try to just love them all, I guess.
Do we even have fans, or is it just trolls that watch us?
Apparently, I can't be a fan of anybody, or it's redundant. So.
Oh God.
But if you leave me a comment like that, I will bring it up. So
I love it. That needs to be a recurring segment. We just bring up a comment that really rubbed us the wrong
really
way.
don't like that comment. Nope. That's not. But I do love you, Utica. I do.
Yeah, that's right.
All righty, you guys. Thank you. Because you guys in the chat don't say things like that, and I appreciate it.
You don't.
You guys.
I mean, I did see a fair number of comments at the bottom of this screen saying that I was wrong.
Well, sometimes you're wrong, David. Sometimes you're wrong. So
sometimes you love Utica too much.
Sometimes I'm redundant, and sometimes you're wrong. So there we go.
Well, if you're watching us later, leave Sarah a comment. Let her know what you thought about her opinions.
Please. That's
maybe she'll bring it up next week.
Oh, you guys. Okay, so tomorrow, David and I will be live tomorrow for the Bachelor finale.
Yes, we can't wait. It's happening tonight. I think it's on in like a little over an hour here in LA.
Yes.
I am so excited.
Thank you.
To see this season through.
That this season is over.
Yes.
Is Matt gonna propose or what? Like, let's just get to it, please.
Yep. Let's get it over with.
So we've got that tomorrow, and then following that, Jolene will be joining me for some BB Can. That's all happening tomorrow, and then Thursday I've got Amazing Race Australia with James, as well as BB Can with David. So make sure you're subscribed and hang out with us.
Yes, and don't forget Survivor Micronesia on Patreon for those of you who are patrons.
Oh, you guys, it's getting so good.
It is. Oh my God, it's so good.
So good. All right, we'll see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.